Hey everyone, this is Dusty coming at you with another Medal of Honor Monday. This week I've got special guest HLLivingLoco, and I will put a link to his Twitter feed down at the bottom so you guys can follow him. So what's going on, Loco?
Oh, not much. How are you this wonderful evening?
Doing great. So far right now we are actually 3 months to the date for Medal of Honor Warfighter. So I'm pretty excited. This week we're going to talk about playing tactics. So, Loco, what's your normal playing tactic whenever you go into, say, a first-person shooter, or for example, Medal of Honor?
Right. The first way I approach things is you sort of pick a favorite class. Depending on map size. In general, I find that my favorite class for most maps tends to be, a support gunner, which they have in Warfighter.
Mm-hmm.
And, this guy can put suppressive rounds on targets anywhere on the map, and he's very powerful, brings a lot of support to the battlefield.
Now, do you run and gun? Are you a lone wolf, or what's your main playing style?
I try to avoid lone wolf as much as possible because, in general, with an LMG, when you have a lot of firepower, you'll draw a lot of attention. So I try to stick with a team and basically cover their backs as much as possible.
Yeah, that's going to be one key point in Warfighter is, of course, like the fire teams. So you're definitely going to be able to help your teammate, with your LMG. Mainly myself, I do a little bit of running gunning. Lone wolf is not for me. It's just not the way that I play. I like to play kind of with somebody as a team as much as possible. But when you're playing by yourself, it's kind of hard to do because the randoms can kind of get in the way and they don't cooperate.
Right.
So.
Yeah. Run and gun. It depends on what weapon you're using. In general, LMG's not very fun. Typically, something like the AK-74, SU, which is the compact assault rifle, is very good at having high accuracy in cramped quarters. But unless you're basically right on top of an enemy, I would never recommend hip firing. Just always stay on the move, but don't try and shoot from the hip.
Yeah, that's pretty much. I usually run just with assault rifles. Rarely will you see me run with an LMG. I guess because it's kind of slows me down a little, slows the character down. So I just kind of like to get out there, find someone and shoot them in the face.
What do you think of like a recon sniper class?
The recon sniper class, that's sniping. Really, I don't do a lot of that. I did notice in Medal of Honor 2010 that the sniper's actually pretty decent. The pistol that you actually carry actually does quite a bit of damage, and I think it's a little overpowered. Which you'll actually see in one of my previous gameplays, actually, that I recorded. I mainly used the pistol, but that's for next week. But it's going to be interesting to see what they do in Warfighter with the sniper, because it almost kind of looks like it's the main class to run in multiplayer, since they've got the special unlock for it.
Personally, I've never been a fan of it. In some ways, one thing that I encountered in Medal of Honor 2010 was that because the ballistics modeling tended to favor point and shoot, these guys were hiding in places where nobody could really reach with any rifle except a sniper rifle, and they were popping headshots left and right because, there's nowhere to go on certain maps when they create choke points. And I was never, a fan of that necessarily. Rooting them out is a very big challenge, Grenade launchers, you can try to suppress them, but it's kind of hard.
Yeah, that's, I think one of the main uses for trying to get them out is like the mortar strike. In some of the maps, that's one of the only ways to suppress the sniper fire. Sniper fire is to use a mortar strike and just, rain mortars down on them.
Yeah, actually the funny thing about, speaking of mortars and support actions, I noticed in Warfighter they've really been pushing support actions as, when you're working with your fire team buddy, they really want you to work with him and support him with different weapons and platforms like grenade launchers that you can mount on the ground and airstrikes. What did you think of airstrikes in Medal of Honor 2010? To me, they always seem kind of overpowered.
Yeah, I think they were a little overpowered. I mean, they were, you know, of course, like the higher kill streak once you got the airstrike. But I rarely actually got to that point. I always got to at least to the match ammo. I was more of, you know, trying to get the radar out. I was more, you know, doing defensive more than like assault actually.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's I guess fun to use at times, but when people used to dominate, and you know, there's some really good players out there, it's kind of scary. They would literally call in probably 5 within the space of 2 minutes, and I was like, not digging this whole thing.
Yeah, it's, like whenever you killed somebody with it, of course your score meter would go up, and then you would earn, you know, your next set of you know, either assault or support or defensive, you know, kill streak or whatever. So it can add up once you get it rolling, and it does seem, well, not does seem, but it is kind of unfair.
With Warfighter, what I'm really hoping they do is, rather than focus on, you know, airstrikes and stuff, I would rather kind of see support actions which really enforce ammo spreading, you know, maybe flak vests, more of like the stuff that is less popular for people to use, you know, match ammo, the kind of thing you were talking about, defensive measures.
Yeah.
But, you know, really reward people for that.
Yeah, I mean, with Medal of Honor, they want to be authentic, you know, authentic as possible. And I think a little more, you know, defensive rewards. More defensive rewards would make a little more sense, because you can't always call in that airstrike. That support always can't be there for you. So I think if they went with more defensive, then, you know, then they would be a little more true to authentic, as opposed to just being more assault aggressive.
And, you know, from the looks of it, rather than, you know, how last game was made by Danger Close and DICE, this division looks a little more unified, so I'm curious to know how, if any of the weapons that you will see in the campaign, like, how they respond in multiplayer, if they have similar suppressive effects on, you know, the AI, or, you know, the same with players. Kind of interesting to see.
Yeah, I do know that one of the biggest worries in Warfighter is if the weapons are going to have recoil. Because that was one of the biggest issues in 2010, was the weapons, they just didn't seem to have enough recoil. So I'm hoping that they'll listen to the community. So far, you know, they've done a really great job of listening to the community and responding back. So I'm hoping that they'll take those things that the community found hard to use, or, you know, needed more of in 2010, that they'll put in Warfighter, and, you know, kind of balance things out a little more.
And I'd kind of like to see, you know, one of the things that they were passing around was, with ballistics modeling, you know, gravity affected by wind and gravity. So I would like, you know, if not wind, give it a little bit more gravity, so when people, you know, take pot shots, they can really feel the weight and actually have to, you know, account for different factors, you know, rather than just pointing and shooting.
Yeah, with that Frostbite 2 engine, you know, it's gonna change. I think it's gonna change everybody's tactics. I mean, you're gonna have those people who have played Battlefield 3 a lot, but those people who haven't, they're gonna come into the game, and they're gonna have to change the way that they play, their tactics and sniping and shooting and everything. So it's gonna be really interesting to see, you know, how it affects everybody.
Yeah, I think this Medal of Honor is going to be a very, very different game than people, you know, who are veterans of the 2010 reboot are familiar with. I think it's going to play entirely different, and, you know, for those, as you said, who aren't familiar with Battlefield 3, I think they're going to be pleasantly surprised by how challenging and fun it can really be. Yeah,
and that's, you know, one thing that I'm hoping for is, you know, that it is that challenge. You know, because 2010, it had so many problems as far as, you know, like the spawning and everything. but I really think that they're going to learn from the mistakes, and they're really going to bring, a brand new multiplayer game to the table that's going to rival, Call of Duty. I mean, we can sit here and say that, but I really, really hope that they, do bring it and, stay true to their word. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think Medal of Honor Warfighter could be really great if they nail the teamwork. Rather than having lone wolf style that worked really well in Medal of Honor 2010, really rewarding support, teamwork, and making sure that players always stick together, because going by yourself is not the way to go.
Yeah, that teamwork is really, really going to be a game changer. I think, and not in just the Medal of Honor Warfighter, but in future first-person shooters to come.
Mm-hmm.
So there you have it, guys. That's this week's Medal of Honor Monday with special guest HLLivingLoco. And I hope you guys enjoyed the gameplay. Hope you enjoyed listening to us talk here. Any parting words for us, Loco?
Yeah, basically, I think that the fire team mechanics are going to change the way we play, future soldier video games. I think they're going to, make the difference in war games altogether.
All right. Well, there you guys have it, and I hope to see you guys next week. Stay tuned, because, of course, I've got more Medal of Honor Mondays coming up. I also have Warfighter Wednesdays. As soon as Warfighter is released in October 23rd, the first one will be up October 24th. So we will see you guys later.